Lesson 3. Mastering LinkedIn. With nearly 750 million users and nearly 10 billion interactions each month, LinkedIn is clearly one of the largest and most impactful social networks. Unlike other social networks that have more of a personal focus, LinkedIn is built to be a hub of business connectivity. People recruit on LinkedIn, people pitch on LinkedIn, people provide thought leadership on LinkedIn. In this lesson, I will delve into my own experience with LinkedIn, how I got hundreds of thousands of views on my content in 2021, secured powerful partnerships, drove signups, and built an aligned connection list. I'm going to cover the standard stuff, how to write a great post and get connected with the right people. But I'm also going to try to give you some ideas around what to write and encourage you to see some less common value points from the LinkedIn ecosystem. Module 1. How to get views with compelling LinkedIn posts. Similar to Quora, storytelling and narrative style posts reign supreme on LinkedIn. But unlike Quora, the hook or very top of your post is absolutely vital with LinkedIn. This is because LinkedIn provides a feed of posts that only displays a snippet of 140 characters before scrollers have to click see more. So you're given just a sentence or two to really grab the attention of a distracted viewer. Here are some hooks from top performing posts I have done. Hook number 1. In college, I wrote a 5-page PDF, which I started at $1 a copy, that I ended up selling on eBay to the tune of nearly $20,000 and thousands of guides over the next few years. It was one of the best business lessons of my life and seeded my love of entrepreneurship. Hook 2. People obsess over the wrong things in marketing. What time of day should I send an email? Should I have 1 CTA or 2? Should my follow-up be after 3 days or 4? Hook 3. Crazy learning about the LinkedIn algorithm today. So over the last few weeks, I've been super slammed. So while I continued to post at least once a day, I have reduced my number of comments on other people's content. I noticed that my posts were performing quite a bit worse. I tried all types, narrative, sales, marketing, leadership. All were seeing the same 30 to 40% decrease in view numbers. Hook 4. It was dark. Everyone in my SDR hire class had left the office, but I had an idea. Sales inquiries came in after hours via chats and were then distributed out in the morning for us to qualify. If I stayed a few extra hours, I could scoop up a handful of these. Hook 5. You're not as far away as you think. I worked for a business that nearly doubled in size after landing one big enterprise deal. At Bonjoro, we saw total revenue spike 20 to 30% after appearing on one big name podcast. A great hook starts with a statement that is slightly controversial or surprising or authoritative. I will attach some additional examples in the resource section for you to dig into. So you want a compelling hook and you want a narrative style. Here are a short list of things to be mindful of to maximize your impact. Write in a narrative style. This means share personal stories and couch lessons and takeaways in that story. Overall, platform engagement is critical. Besides posting, I recommend at least 15 to 20 comments a week on other people's content. The best way to work this, in my opinion, is to connect with and follow as many of your target customers and integration partners as you can. Hyping up your partners and getting name recognition with brands you won as customers pays double dividends. Work on a compelling hook in your first 2 to 3 sentences. This can have a big impact on if people click in and read more. If your post is growing by 20% or more per hour, do not post again. If it's not, you can post again, but never sooner than 4 hours. In the first 2 hours, a fast growing or viral post will often double in views between hour 1 to 2. Shoot for an average of 4 to 5 good posts a week. Frequency is often debated in the LinkedIn community. From both my own experience and that of experts like the folks over at Shield App, which is a LinkedIn analytics tool we're going to talk about later, a compelling post daily or every other day is ideal to maximize impact. Posting links will reduce views. Sometimes it can still be worth it, but it's important to note that your views will be cut by 70 to 80% when you do this. The new algorithm update also penalizes responding to your own post with a link, which was the old workaround. If you want to get around it, really the only way I have seen is to have someone comment and then you respond to that comment with a link. The point around overall platform engagement is so critical. Every time I have noticed a decrease in my post performance for a week or two, it has been connected to me commenting and engaging less on other people's content. LinkedIn strongly rewards people who organically interact on their platform frequently. And don't think you can game it. If you post short statements like love it or totally agree, it will not give you the same impact as well thought out and nuanced responses to other people's posts. Module 2, what do I write about? Our first lesson talked about how to write a compelling post. But one of the other major challenges I see from people I talk to is, what do I write about? Obviously, there's no universal answer to this. If your connections are heavily sales-based, content that is more sales-based will often perform better. If your connections are more marketing-based, content that is marketing-based will do better. But it's important to remember that on LinkedIn, you don't have to just write about business advice. In fact, as we noted in section 1, taking a more narrative approach where you share stories from your experience with some key takeaways will often land well. The Gravy team on LinkedIn are experts in using personal narrative to drive incredible exposure. Most of the posts from Casey, their CEO, are not related to their product, which is a churn reduction SaaS, but simply help humanize and make the Gravy brand relatable. I personally took a call with their sales team simply because I liked the ethos of their brand. Also, notice Casey's hook that gets you asking, why is he so stressed? Casey and the Gravy team are a great success story for LinkedIn. We will reference their approach and results later on in this lesson. But right now, I want to show you prompts to help you come up with some great post ideas for the B2B, marketing, sales, and SaaS worlds. Possible prompts for inspiration. Tell me something relatable, i.e., if you're a marketer, tell me about a month when MQLs wouldn't budge no matter how much you spent and what you did to break through that wall. If you're a CEO, tell me about a moment when a key employee left, a critical project failed, and how you overcame it. Talk about your family or your coworkers, your boss. One top LinkedIn account I follow gets incredible reach, and basically he posts all the time about how amazing his wife is and all these family lessons. Well, it turns out those values resonate with people and allow him to get hundreds of thousands of eyes on his business. Tell me a story about something unique you did in business or in your personal life and how it panned out. Tell me something gritty or dramatic. My post about where I stayed at work until midnight as an SDR trying to get an edge on my other class hires was one of my top 3 posts of all time. Tell me about a time you took a risk and it panned out. People love to hear validation around taking risks. On the flip side, if you took a risk and it didn't pan out, that can be interesting too. What is something most people get wrong when it comes to business? What do people miss the mark on? Why? This could be many posts. What do people get wrong about hiring? What do people get wrong about product? What do people get wrong about sales, marketing? You get the idea. What is a big business challenge you overcame and learned a key lesson from? What is your and outside of business? Yes, you're an insert job title, but you also have other passions. How do those enhance your life? Or why are those relevant? Tell me about an amazing initiative or project you did. Then in another post, tell me about a dismal failure. What did you learn? Give me a comparison of something. For instance, you might post a picture of 2 ads, one a big success and one a failure, and analyze and ask people why. Invite comments. This can be done on a marketing email, a landing page, and a handful of other things. Call out bullshit. This common practice X is bullshit. Here is why. Be open and honest and invite other people to do the same. Do a post that hypes up your partners or customers. Show love and dedicate it fully to uplifting them. Don't make it seem like a subtle nudge back to your own product. Do a post where you include an interesting graph of some sort of data. You could pull that chart from some other article, or there are loads of free tools to help you make line graphs, including just Excel. Graphs get people to stop and read your analysis. Tell a story about switching career paths. Did you pivot from sales to marketing? Did you give up a lofty engineering paycheck to follow your passion in a startup? Lots of people are considering things like that, but are scared about whether it's feasible. Tap into that interest. Do a teardown video. If you work with helping brands optimize their landing pages, pull up a bunch of landing page and help them analyze that on video. If you help brands get their email delivered, show them your promotions tab and analyze what they're doing wrong. Talk about the things nobody talks about in work culture. It could be unspoken norms, what leaders get wrong. Hopefully, some of these ideas help you get started. Remember that quality will always trump quantity. One amazing post a week will bring you far better exposure than 10 bad ones. Module 3, building the right profile and connection list. Whether you're using LinkedIn to grow your brand awareness or to find cold leads or make new partnerships, you need to have the right profile and the right connections to grow effectively. When it comes to connections, it's tempting to just accept anyone who invites you and throw out hundreds of invites to grow your numbers. I would advise you not to do this. This will lead to you having a large but unengaged follower list. Instead, start by connecting with companies that are clients of yours. Send connection requests to all the people that share relevant roles to what you're posting about. So for me, that is anything around sales, marketing, client experience, or growth. Next, I recommend doing this same process with companies that match your ICP, or ideal customer profile. Again, focus on relevant roles within those organizations. Finally, send requests to integration partners or people who work for platforms that other people frequently use to integrate with you. When it comes to accepting requests, focus on accepting requests from individuals who are in the same field you are talking about and aren't just trying to add you for a quick pitch. When it comes to your profile and title, here are my best recommendations. For your title, which you can edit at the top, have something that explains what you do. Don't put head of XYZ. Instead, explain a value you add, and if people are interested in that, they'll click to learn more. If all they know is you're the head of growth at Beetlejuice, and they don't know what industry you're in or how you can help them, it's not going to be as effective. Next, have a clean headshot with a simple background. For your top background image, I recommend some sort of professional image related to your company. You can see the one I use here. I will include some tips in the resource section from LinkedIn themselves on setting up a great title. Next, you have your About section. Here I got some insight from some great LinkedIn gurus. They told me to focus on selling myself. Be honest, but don't be humble. How can you describe your accomplishments in a way that is compelling? Since I changed this section to the version you're looking at now, my profile engagement is way up. Module 4, LinkedIn for leads. If you've been on LinkedIn for any period of time, you're likely familiar with getting a connection request, which then leads to a pitch and someone's calendar link. This type of outreach is highly ineffective. It doesn't show nuance, it doesn't show someone did their homework, and there's no inherent value to the person receiving the pitch. Instead, I recommend leading with value. This might mean that you invite a prospect onto a webinar or podcast that your company hosts. Or you reach out about a partnership. This message that I sent to ClickFunnels not only led to a partnership collaboration, but also a great customer. Notice how it isn't random. I had context. It's personal, and it's relevant to the recipient's role, who is a partner manager. You could try inviting them to contribute to your blog and promising to co-promote with them. The bottom line is, if you want to be effective at getting leads on LinkedIn, it starts with just producing good organic content that ties back to your product. Beyond the typical tips from earlier in this lesson, you might experiment with something totally eye-catching. I did a spoof video of Dr. Evil where I took clips from a movie and spliced them up with me and some teammates talking, then tied the whole thing back to Bonjoro. It went amazing. I got 120 followers to our LinkedIn in one day, 50 connection requests, and a dozen demos that led to several paid accounts. Creative organic plays on LinkedIn can take more time, but organically driving attention should always be your first plan of attack. But I also get outreach. I do outreach myself, typically to create partnerships or build relationships through a collaboration. If you're going to do cold outreach, here is a list of steps. Don't ask for anything upfront. Lead with some sort of value to them. And by value, I don't mean your lead magnet. How are you giving them exposure, driving them leads, or supporting them in their role? Engage with their content first. I ignore 99% of the LinkedIn messages and connection requests that I get because I get so many. Almost all are trying to pitch me on their service, pitch me a job, or pitch me to check out some article they wrote. Sometimes though, an SDR will engage on a lot of my posts. I'll recognize their name. I might have even responded to them a few times. These people I will always add. These people I will always give at least a response to, even if it's to say it's not a good fit. Use a connected person in your pitch. I often find if I note in an intro a podcast I heard them on, or a friend's article that wrote about them, or some sort of natural tie-in, the chances of someone responding to me go up exponentially. Module 5, bonus tips and tricks. I was running the sales department for a SaaS organization, and we were trying to find ways to build better rapport with new prospects. I told the team, hey, after you do a demo, send the prospect a LinkedIn connection request saying you're excited to work together. It worked great. About half of the prospects accepted the connections, and conversions went up by 5 to 10%. Not only that, but people used LinkedIn to reach out and ask questions of the sales rep. It became an awesome relationship building strategy. I have found there are many strategies like this that have value on LinkedIn. So, tip number 1, connection request new leads or customers. Another strategy that the Gravy team I mentioned earlier have employed, and from it brought on thousands of paying customers, is what I call the coordinated team attack. Essentially, tip number 2 is get your whole team on LinkedIn. They got dozens of team members to all start sharing and engaging on LinkedIn. They created Slack channels internally to share tips, successful posts, and get some friendly competition going on performance. I originally found out about Gravy because I was seeing them literally everywhere. Most often they were talking about their personal journeys or different non-business related topics, but they humanized their brand and it became a powerful growth lever. I think the team approach has a ton of value, but remember, the more structure you add here, the better your results will be. Report on LinkedIn performance each week. Share and reward successful posts, and share this course with teammates who need inspiration around topics. This next tip involves a tool called Shield App. It's a powerful and simple LinkedIn plugin that helps give you deep analysis around your posts and performance. Tip number 3 is use Shield App to analyze your team's performance. You will be provided trend lines so you can see growth over time, analyze your views, likes, comments, and shares. You can also select any post you have made and see the company, occupation, and region. Tip number 4, comment, comment, comment. This was mentioned in the first section, but it's so important and under-focused on from content that I have read that it bears repeating. Your overall platform engagement on LinkedIn has a strong impact on the views your own posts will get. When people respond to your posts, comment on anything relevant. In addition, be commenting as much as possible on other people's content. Make sure your responses are robust and in-depth. Don't bother with the great or love it. Hopefully, the lessons and tips above have given you a framework for how to approach and monetize LinkedIn. Like any social channel, relationships are king. The more people you meet that can make introductions for you and help you bridge into new communities and opportunities, the better your results will be. Hopefully, this lesson gave you a new way of thinking about LinkedIn and what the potential of that platform is. Now comes the hard work of tracking your own posts, performance, and style so you can find what works best for you. In this assignment, I'm gonna have you create an Excel sheet where you'll track different types of posts, frequency, and topics, and see what's most effective. Another key component is to think about what your goals are with any platform. So in the case of LinkedIn, are you focused on getting leads, building partnerships, becoming a thought leader? Depending on your focus, your strategy may differ.